I've got some good news for you and I've got some bad news. Let's start with the bad news first. Just because you've locked in, you've secured either a face-to-face meeting, a demo, a presentation, or a virtual meeting, demo, presentation, or one of those formal phone conversations. Just because you've locked in that powerful next meeting or next step does not mean you're going to get the deal. Not even close. And that's a huge mistake that so many of us make in sales is we get really, really excited. Man, I've got a face-to-face meeting scheduled. This deal's mine. And then we don't close the deal. Here's what I want to do right now. Here's the good news. The good news is I'm going to give you a tool. I created this tool for myself about 15 years ago, and it helped me close deals so much more. Now, I actually do get excited when I lock in a face-to-face meeting or a virtual meeting or a demo or presentation, because I use the tool that I'm going to show you right now, and I close a lot more deals than everybody else. And by a lot more, I mean about 700% more deals. Here's the problem that I discovered years ago and how this tool solves this problem. The problem is this. We get excited when we've scheduled a demo, a meeting, a presentation, or a formal phone call, and we always start these the same way. We do a little pleasantries. How's it going? How's it great? Did you see the game? How about this weather? Oh, it's so cold or it's so hot. We do all of that, and then we just start jumping in to what we think that prospect wants to talk about, okay? Most of the time we're wrong, and we start talking about the wrong things. And our customer will allow us to do that, right? They're not going to be disrespectful. They'll allow us to crash our own meeting into the ground. We're the pilot, we're in charge. The other problem with this is even when we're right, if we don't set the tone right off the bat for that meeting, if we don't review what we're going to talk about with that prospect, it's kind of disrespectful. It's kind of assumptive. So even when we're right, if we just jump right into the content, at the very least, the prospect's not impressed, and at worst, they start to think, man, this is a pushy salesperson. They're just trying to ram these ideas down my throat. This is why so many of our meetings, our demos, our presentations don't go well. So here is the tool. I know, right? Super high tech. It's a little piece of paper. Here's the tool, these organizer sheets. Folks that have access to our training at eastonuniversity.com can download this, all right? If you're not on eastonuniversity.com, that's cool. I'm going to kind of walk you through how this works. You can make your own, but when you start doing this before your meetings, you're going to find that your prospects are going to lean in. They're going to get excited. You're going to be on track every single time. You're going to eliminate all of those cases where you're talking about the wrong things or you're on the wrong track. And on the times when you are, they're going to be like, wow, this person's professional. This person really cares. This is the kind of professional and organization that I want to do business with. So here's how these meeting organizers work. They require you to take a few notes from your previous conversations with that prospect, right? We can talk about that in other videos. These are the things we train you on Easton University. I hope you're asking the right questions. But as you're asking those questions of that prospect before the meeting, what I want you to do is to create one of these organizer sheets, and then just quickly, hey guys, before the meeting starts, do you mind if I've got some notes here. Do you mind if I recap my understanding of your current situation, what's going on, just to make sure that I'm on the same page with you, make sure nothing's changed and that we make the best use of this time. When you ask them that, they're gonna be like, sure. And then you just jump into your sheet, and it's okay, even if you're face-to-face, to pull one of these sheets out. They're actually going to appreciate it. They're going to be incredibly impressed that you took the time to work out these notes. Now, here's the note lines on this sheet. This one's blank. I'll make up an example here in a second. But basically, you're going to put on the sheet, based on our last conversation, they need blank. What's most important to them is blank. The reason why that's most important to them, blank, you're going to fill that out. They would like to discuss blank first. That's a key. You want to make sure that you're being respectful of talking about what that client wants to talk about first. And the reason why they want to discuss that first is blank. Now, there's 3 critical questions after you review that. Does all of that still match what they need? Yes or no? Did I miss anything? Yes or no? And has anything changed since we last spoke? Yes or no? That sounds like a lot, right? It's not. Let me I'll just pull out of my head from a meeting I just had 30 minutes ago how this works. I had a sheet like this. I should have brought that one, but I can remember what I had on it. So I was meeting with a company, we'll call them Acme, right? And they were looking at sales training for Easton University because that's what we sell is sales training, right? So when I went through this sheet, it sounded something like this. It was Tina and Phil that I was meeting with. Tina and Phil, hey, do you guys mind before we get started, can I just kind of recap my understanding of your situation to make sure that I'm on the same page, I'm not missing anything, and also make sure nothing's changed since the last time that we spoke and we can make the best use of our time here. They were, yeah, absolutely, Matt. Cool. Based on our last conversations, you guys need a new sales training platform. What's most important to you is that your people have the ability wherever they're at in their training to jump in and get started. The reason why that's important to you is with your current training, as you hire new people, you have to wait for specific intervals, if I remember correctly. I believe those are quarterly intervals of when you can bring people on, and that's not working. You want new hires to get up to speed quickly. What you guys wanted to talk about first is our ability to teach people to close. The reason why you wanted to discuss that first is you believe that's a huge weak spot in your current training. There's some good stuff in there, but it seems like your people just do not have a system down for closing deals. Does all that match what you need? They said, yeah, that's exactly right. Did I miss anything? No, I think we wanted to make sure that people can go in and look at the training through their mobile device. Mobile device, got it. Perfect. And I don't give them the answer, I just write down mobile device. Hey, has anything changed since we last spoke? Yes, it has. Got it, what's changed? Well, when we last spoke, we were thinking about doing something next quarter. We reached out to our current sales training company, and it turns out we're on an annual contract with them, and we need to make a decision before the first of the month on whether or not we're gonna stay with them. Now, on that first of the month, I'm assuming the reason why you have to make that decision is you're gonna have to re-up for another year. Yeah, that's exactly right. Perfect, I will cover all of that. And that allowed me, when I went through all of that stuff, that allowed me to now keep the meeting tailored to exactly what they wanted to talk about, the ability to bring students in. Good news, we had that ability for them. The ability to teach them how to close. We worked through some ideas on how we could make sure that right off the bat, when we do our weekly live coaching sessions, that their people will have some access to me and I'll work with them one-on-one on closing. The meeting went spectacular. Here's the other great news. This was a meeting that would have possibly taken an hour. Guess how long it took? About 17 minutes, because I was able to only touch on the things that they wanted to touch on. Here's another thing. When you're not asking them, does all that still match what you need? Number one, you could not be talking about what they need. And number two, when things come up that are your normal standard objections, complaints, you're giving them an opportunity to talk about those things, right? So whatever it is with your company, pricing, reporting, the things where you're weak, right? When you say, does that match what you need? They never bring those things up. So it eliminates, it really kind of de-escalates and takes the power out of a lot of those objections. And then most importantly, did I miss anything? And if you notice with this meeting that I had this morning, when I asked them, has anything changed since we last spoke? Things change. Deals are always in flux. And it was really valuable for me to figure out, I better give them everything that they need before the first of the month. We better really put this on the fast track to close, or else it's gonna be another year before I have an opportunity to close this deal. And if I had not asked them that before the meeting, they would have never told me. These are the kind of mistakes that sales reps get into all the time. So if you're on eastonuniversity.com already, please download this sheet. Be using it. If you're not on Easton University, either make your own sheet or give us a call. We'd love to get your people on. You can reach us anytime at 800-628-1456. Again, my name's Matt Easton. I'm the founder of Easton University. I'd love to talk to you personally. There's actually a link below where you can check out the pricings, the plans. It's very, very easy. It's very simple. It's month to month on the contracts. There's no year contracts. Your team and you will have access to all of this type of content, all of the on-demand training, and then every week, I'm gonna give your people the option of popping on a Zoom with me, and I'll work with them live. So we're actually gonna be working, role-playing, rehearsing, drilling, things like we just did in a live setting. They can come to me and say, hey, here's the problems that I'm having with this deal. Here's the problems that I'm having with prospecting. Here's the difficulty that I'm having in closing. If you wanna make sales easy for yourself, if you wanna make it easy for your team, if you wanna make it easy for your company, check us out and check this out. The world of sales has completely changed. Today's customer has access to more information. Today's customer has more choices. The business world needs you. Studies have shown that 84% of salespeople fail to achieve their goals. The old sales training, well, it just doesn't work today. I'd like to teach you how to take the stress out of selling in a way that's meaningful to you and your customers, and get you 7 times more business. I'll show you how the perfect sales process works. I'm gonna walk you through everything from prospecting to closing the deal. I'm gonna show you how to determine your prospects' wants and their needs so you can build value in your solutions. You will learn how to handle any objection or complaint. I'm gonna show you how to connect with your customer so it's easy for them to buy from you. I've taught the best companies in the world and thousands of people just like you how to hit their targets. Selling is complicated. I'll simplify it for you. There's more competition than ever before. I'm gonna show you how to be number one. All of a sudden, your career is gonna make perfect sense, even if you've never worked in sales or the corporate world before. And for the advanced sales professionals, I'm gonna show you how to take things to the next level. Easton University is a new, simple, step-by-step process that's effective in any industry, large or small. You are about to become a certified master sales consultant. I'm Matt Easton, and this is Easton University.